Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the Amazing Shinsengumi, Heroes in Love. We are on Shinpachi Nagakura's route, Chapter 4, I was just thinking. So far we have been considered like a pet, and he's licked our wounds. Oh man, this is interesting, but yeah, not very romantic exactly. But it's cute. Let's see where Chapter 4 takes us. You can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. A few weeks had passed since I started living at the base with Shinpachi. I was now used to living there, and little by little, I learned about the Shinsengumi. One day, I met Shinpachi in the hallway as he was about to leave.
Hey.
Are you about to go on patrol?
Yeah, I should be back before supper, so I'm looking forward to eating your dinner.
Okay, got it. Then I'll make your favorite dish, Shinpachi. Do I know his favorite dish?
Yeah, that'd be great. That means I need to finish up fast so I can come home early.
What do you feel like eating?
Let me see. It's so tough to pick. Everything you make is so delicious.
Thanks. I'm glad you feel that way. I'll make anything you want. I'll put all my effort into making it.
Then I want rice balls.
That's all? Seriously? What? Rice balls?
Yeah, I want to eat your handmade rice balls.
Okay, but are you sure you're fine with just a simple dinner?
Of course. I love rice balls after all.
Onigiri?
I mean, it's like the cook puts her feelings into it when she makes it.
Isn't that everything?
Love is the best spice when cooking.
I got it. Then I'll make some rice balls for you.
Alright, thanks. Having something to look forward to changes my outlook when going out to work.
Shinpachi was so happy he would be able to eat rice balls for dinner. He looked very satisfied and smiled. When I saw him like that, I was overjoyed and smiled with him. I was lying in bed in my room and let out a heavy sigh. A few hours had passed since Shinpachi left on his night patrol. However, he still hadn't come back. I wonder what happened. Is Shinpachi okay? He was so happy to have rice balls for dinner. I thought about Shinpachi's smile when he was looking forward to dinner. I felt lonely and became sad. I was worried something might have happened to Shinpachi. I couldn't sleep. My worries became stronger when I heard an uproar coming from outside of the Shinsengumi base. I had a bad feeling and got out of bed. People were now making a commotion within the base as well. This is bad. I'm so worried I can't sleep. I quickly changed out of my pajamas and into a kimono. I left my room and ran into the hallway. When I went out into the hallway, I saw multiple soldiers running around the base. It looked as if they were screaming for something in a hurry. I was trying to keep my anxiety in as I looked at all the commotion. Then I heard a familiar voice.
Chizuru.
Sanosuke! Sanosuke wasn't his usual bright and cheery self. Looking distraught, Sanosuke came toward me.
Where's Shinpachi? Has the second corps come back yet?
They haven't come back yet.
Captain Kondo hasn't come back yet either. That means...
Sanosuke started talking to himself, but he quickly turned around and tried to leave. Did something happen? Unable to contain my words, I called out to Sanosuke. Sanosuke stopped and turned around.
Captain Kondo and Shinpachi are at Ikedaya fighting with the anti-foreigner group.
What?
Toshizo and I are going too as backup. Sorry to be so abrupt, but I'll tell you more about it when I get back.
Saying that, Sanosuke was about to leave again, but I grabbed his arm without thinking.
Chizuru.
Sanosuke, please take me with you.
What? What are you saying? It's too dangerous. I can't allow you to go.
I can bandage people's wounds if you bring me. I swear I'll be useful. I became desperate and begged Sanosuke to let me go with him. Please let me go just this once. Please take me with you to Ikedaya. I couldn't quietly wait at the base when Shinpachi's life might have been in danger. However, Sanosuke slowly shook his head left and right.
Absolutely not. I can't put you in that kind of danger. Try and understand.
No, please. I couldn't help but feel sad, knowing I couldn't be at Shinpachi's side. Tears started to fall from my eyes. Sanosuke, you won't take me no matter what?
Chizuru. Okay. Tell me why you want to go to Ikedaya.
The reason I want to go to Ikedaya is because... I'm worried about Shinpachi. Never mind the injured people. I only care about one. Well, I'm worried about Shinpachi. I want to be by his side. I told him my true feelings. Sanosuke uncomfortably smiled after hearing my words.
Young women are always stubborn in times like these.
After saying that, Sanosuke stared straight into my eyes.
Chizuru, you want to go for Shinpachi's sake, right?
I nodded after hearing Sanosuke's question. Yes. He stayed silent and stared at me for a while, but then he finally spoke.
Fine, you win. I'll take you with me to Ikedaya.
Really?
Yeah, I can't say no to a young woman's request, especially yours, Chizuru.
Oh, especially to a crying woman, right? Sanosuke chuckled a bit after saying that. His face quickly changed to a serious expression and looked me straight in the eyes.
Just promise me you won't do anything dangerous. Don't jump in the middle of a battle.
Okay, I promise I won't do that.
Alright then, let's go.
Okay. And so, I went with Sanosuke to Ikedaya, where Shinpachi was fighting. Shinpachi, please be safe. Sanosuke and I ran to Ikedaya. We finally arrived. We saw Shinsengumi soldiers fighting other samurai in front of Ikedaya. I saw Shinpachi within the intense battle. Shinpachi! At the time I called out Shinpachi's name, he killed one of the enemy samurai.
Ugh.
The samurai Shinpachi had dealt a deadly blow to slowly fell to the floor. Then Shinpachi suddenly looked in my direction.
Chizuru, what are you doing here?
Shinpachi!
Sanosuke, why did you bring her here?
It was a side of Shinpachi I'd never seen before. He started to yell at Sanosuke with a frightful, serious face.
You're an idiot! What were you thinking bringing a woman here?
I asked him to bring me. Please don't blame Sanosuke. Shinpachi was about to grab Sanosuke's collar when I stood in between them. I couldn't stand the thought of waiting while you were out here fighting. I was so worried I had him bring me here.
Chizuru.
I'm not sure if I'll be much help, but I can at least help the wounded soldiers. Please don't send me back. Let me be by your side. If something were to happen to you, I even surprised myself as I let my feelings pour out.
If you even sense the slightest amount of danger, don't mind us and run away. Got it?
As he instructed me with a serious look on his face, I told him, I understand. I understand. If I sense any kind of danger, I'll run away no matter the situation.
Alright.
Shinpachi whispered his words and patted me on the head. He pulled himself together and turned to Sanosuke.
Sanosuke, if anything happens, protect Chizuru. Roger.
Shinpachi and Sanosuke nodded in unison, as if they were on the same wavelength. Soon after, Shinpachi ran inside Ikedaya. Shinpachi! I unconsciously tried to go after him, but Sanosuke grabbed my wrist at once.
You can't follow him.
Yes, I know. I was on the brink of being crushed by my own worries. I put my hand on my chest to keep calm.
If something were to happen to you, Shinpachi would kill me. If you want to do something for Shinpachi, then go somewhere safe and pray for a safe return.
Okay. Shouldn't I be helping the wounded soldiers, actually? Sanosuke took me to a safe place, and I watched the battle continue in Ikedaya. I saw some familiar soldiers crossing blades with the anti-foreigner samurai. Their cold stares indicated that they were putting their lives on the line in battle. Even at this moment, I wanted to rush into Ikedaya because I was so worried about Shinpachi. How much time has passed? Had it been a long time or a short time? I could no longer comprehend the passage of time. The only thing I could do was watch the battle before me. However, suddenly, the once noisy Ikedaya became completely silent. I held my breath and watched. Shinpachi came out of Ikedaya, holding one of the enemy samurai he apprehended. I looked closer and noticed Shinpachi was covered in blood. Shinpachi!
I caught one of the anti-foreigners.
He called out to other Shinsengumi soldiers outside. However, while he did that, Shinpachi fell to the ground. Shinpachi! Sanosuke and I ran to Shinpachi in a panic.
Shinpachi, are you okay?
Shinpachi! In response to our calls, Shinpachi let out a soft moan.
Ugh.
His arms and shoulder were injured. His jacket was soaked in his own blood, as well as the blood of his enemies.
Ugh. Sanosuke, take the enemy soldiers I apprehended. Roger.
In Shinpachi's stead, Sanosuke took the enemy soldiers away.
Ugh.
Shinpachi let out a painful groan. I decided to Take his hand. Shinpachi, are you okay? I took his hand and held on to it.
Yeah, I'm okay. Sorry for making you worry.
To ease my worries, he smiled as best he could. Sweat dripping down from his forehead, I'm sure he was trying to endure his pain. I have to treat your wounds quickly. Let's go back to the base. Nevertheless, Shinpachi shook his head left and right.
No, we can't go back yet.
Come on! Why? If I don't treat your wounds soon...
No, it's dangerous to go back now.
What? Dangerous for who, me or you? Let me lick your wounds!
There's a chance the anti-foreigners will hear about this and attack the Shinsengumi. It's best if we don't go back until daybreak. Even though we finally caught them, the tables could turn on us at any second.
So it's good that I came out here. I'm probably safer. But then your injuries...
Oh, these wounds aren't deep. I'm more worried about Soji and Heisuke.
Shinpachi... I was moved at how Shinpachi prioritized worrying about the Shinsengumi and his comrades rather than himself. Shinpachi is always thinking about others. He has such a warm and loving heart. If Shinpachi won't worry about himself, then I want to worry about him in his stead. I stared deeply at Shinpachi as I thought about that. Let me lick your wounds! Shinpachi noticed my gaze, and without warning gently smiled at me.
What's wrong? You don't have to look so worried. I'm fine, really.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. More importantly, how are you doing? I'm sure you were scared.
I answered. I was scared. I was scared for you. Yeah, I was scared. I nodded as I answered him. I wouldn't know what to do if something bad had happened. That's all I could think about.
Chizuru.
Shinpachi suddenly looked disappointed and sighed. Shinpachi, what's wrong?
I was just thinking. I wanted to eat them.
Too bad I didn't bring them with me. Huh?
The rice balls you made. I really want to eat them now.
Shinpachi. Even though he's covered in wounds, even though he's covered in blood, Shinpachi smiled to keep me from worrying. Even if it's only a little bit. Shinpachi doesn't want me to worry, nor does he want me to start thinking negatively. He's more worried about me than himself. Thinking about how kind he was, my chest got hot and started to tighten. In that moment, without thinking, I hugged Shinpachi. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to be the forward one in this relationship.
Whoa.
Shinpachi was shocked, but he rubbed his hand on my back.
Hey, what's wrong?
As he looked at me with distress in his eyes, I replied, I want to stay like this. I want to stay like this. Is that okay? I sunk my head into his chest.
Yeah, that's fine with me. Actually, I want to stay like this.
Shinpachi started to hug me in return. I felt his affection from his gentle warmth. Oh, well, I can't stop now. I gotta read another episode. One more episode tonight. Alright, chapter 5 will be, I can't keep my feelings in anymore. Hopefully that's gonna be him saying that, not me, because I think I've already shown him a bit of my affection. I'll hope to see you there or in some of my other videos. I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.